Hi there, it's Dale Beaumont here, and welcome to Get Published TV. This is the only dedicated show on the internet to help you to write, publish, and market your own best-selling book. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to host a virtual book launch. Very, very cool subject, so stay tuned because that's coming up your way in just a few moments from now. But right now, I'm going to talk about this guy right here, this brand new microphone that we've got. How cool is that? Now, reason why we got this microphone is because we've had this annoying, this frustrating buzzing sound in some of the videos which we recorded previously. Not in all of them, but in many of them. And you can still kind of, make out what we're saying, but it's just kind of, it makes it that little bit harder to actually listen to. So I'm really, really thankful that a friend of mine called Paul Maturin has come to the rescue and has basically told me to throw out this microphone that he bought for $30 and to actually get a much better microphone. And Paul actually bought this as a present, and this is a really kind of cool device here. And Paul's just in the other room because he's helped me to set it all up, and I'm really excited about this new microphone. So Paul, just come in and just can you just come in over here and just say a quick hi to people, and because I want to say thanks for getting us this great little microphone. So this is Paul, everyone.
Hello everybody, I'm Paul. How are you?
And so he's the guy that's come to our rescue and make sure that we have heaps better sound from now on. So thanks very much, Paul. All right, let's get on to today's episode, which is about how to host a virtual book launch. Now, first of all, what is a virtual book launch? Well, before I tell you what it is, let's just talk about what you'd most likely be familiar with, which is just a regular book launch, which is basically like, just a get together of friends, family, business associates, colleagues, maybe some people from the media, maybe even some book publishers or book distributors to celebrate your the success of you releasing your book. It's a great thing to do, with provided, of course, that you do so within a budget. And there's actually a previous video where I've spoken about how to have a regular book launch, or how to have a regular book launch. So I've already spoken about that. However, there's a really cool thing that you can do, which is called a virtual book launch. And there's a person by the name of Alex Mandossian that kind of coined the phrase virtual book launch or virtual book tour, as he calls it. And it's a really great way to be able to reach a lot more people and to be able to have a much bigger impact at for much less, or for maybe even no cost at all. Basically, how it's done through a phone, through the telephone. And so instead of people coming to meet you live or face to face, they basically come and meet you virtually through the telephone. Or you can actually also do now a virtual book launch or a virtual book tour through a webinar as well. So they actually are but they're logging on to a particular web page that has a video of you so they can see your face, or it maybe has a series of PowerPoint slides and also the audio coming through as well. So there's two ways in which you can do it. You can either do it through the phone, through a teleconference or a teleseminar provider. There are many, many companies out there. You can Google them, and there are a number of them that offer their services for free. Or you can pay what is a normal investment. We're talking about like maybe $20, $50, maybe $100 to have thousands and thousands of people listening in on the other end of the phone from right across your country or all over the world. So it's very, very exciting. And the other way is, as I was mentioning, to do it through what we are now calling a webinar. Instead of a seminar, it's a webinar, and people can get both the audio, but they can also get the video as well coming through. So it's a really, really exciting thing. And where this kind of really comes into its own is that there are many people that have their clients spread right across the country, or sometimes right across the globe. And if you're in a tiny country like Singapore, where you can drive from one side to the other in about 45 minutes, then you can hold a physical book tour, because everyone can get to where you are. But if you're in a big country like Australia or the UK or certainly America, and you're based in New York, and people have to drive across the other side of the country to attend or fly, it means that you can only reach a certain number of people, or you may have to do 4 or 5 book launches, and then you actually it's very, very expensive when you add in flights, accommodation, venues, catering, etc., etc. However, you can get that same result, the same net effect of being able to reach and impact a lot of people, and also to be able to sell truckloads of books in some occasions by doing it through a virtual book tour. So there's lots of different providers that are out there that can offer this service. Probably in a future episode, I'll go into more detail to talk about how to actually host it, how do you get it off to a good start, what are some of the things that you say. But just to give you a really brief overview, it's simply a matter of making sure people dial in at a specific time, and there's a whole kind of science to make sure that people are dialing in at the right time if you're doing it live and people are calling in from right around the world. And then once they're dialed in, you can welcome everyone. You can thank them for coming along. You can tell them about your book, how excited that you are to release it, what's in it, who the book actually targets. You can share some success stories, whatever you like. So you can talk for, say 45 minutes up to an hour. And then what you can do is you're going to give people the opportunity to purchase the book, or purchase the book with something else added as a bonus, so they can take action right now, or direct them to their website where they can order whatever you like. It really is up to you. So some websites that you can check out for teleconference providers, probably just best to Google it, because there are hundreds of them out there now, and they all kind of change over time, and sometimes some are better than others. So just do your own research on that. Otherwise, I'm just now working with a webinar company which is called GoToMeetings. GoToMeetings, if you Google that, then they're a very reputable webinar company that will enable you to do a virtual book launch or a virtual book tour. The other person that I recommend that you learn from is a guy called Alex Mandossian. He's made a whole career out of helping people to do virtual book tours, and he's someone that has created a lot of free resources which are available for on YouTube. So if you type in Alex Mandossian, or you type in virtual book tour or virtual book launch, then there'll be a bunch of videos that will come up, and you can tune into those and be able to learn about how you can master this skill. And what's cool about it is you don't have to just do it once. If you do a virtual book launch, then that kind of refers to the fact that it's a one-off and it won't be repeated again. But if you call it a virtual book tour, then you can actually repeat it and do it again and again. You can do that tour maybe every 3 months or every 6 months, and maybe if you have people that are from all around the world, then maybe they can actually you can maybe do 3 different ones in 3 different time zones, so you can reach the maximum number of people. And what's so cool about that is, unlike a physical book launch, is if you don't show up, then you've missed the whole show. But with the webinar or with the teleseminar, you can actually record it. And so if people can't be live on the call, then they can access the recording, which is a really, really wonderful thing. Bottom line, you can sell a lot of books if you do it correctly, and the overheads, the cost, the expenses are very, very minimal. So it's a really fantastic way to market and promote your book. It works for either fiction or non-fiction writers, and something that you should really investigate and consider, and make sure you put that as part of your marketing plan and strategy for your book. This is Dale Beaumont from Get Published TV with our trusty new microphone, thanks to our friend Paul Maturin. And I want to say thanks for watching as always, and look forward to seeing you again next time.